Okay, so if you've ever tried to read the Bible, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those long, dense family trees that just make your eyes glaze over. Well, today, we're going to dive headfirst into one of them, from the book of Genesis.
Because what if I told you that this list, it's not just a list? What if it's actually a code? One that's hiding incredible stories of family scandal, forgotten wars, and yeah, even a startling prediction of a future global superpower.
So this right here, this is our puzzle box, Genesis chapter 36. It's just a seemingly endless scroll of names, kings, and clans from the land of Edom. I mean, it is exactly the kind of text that just feels impenetrable. But what if it's not?
See, to crack this code, we're going to need a key. And our key is the work of a brilliant medieval scholar named Rashi. You can think of him as our master detective. He's the one who looked at this incredibly dry list and saw a total treasure trove of hidden stories.
So let's follow his investigation. We're going to start with the very first group mentioned on the list, the original inhabitants of the land, the Horites. And right away, the first clue pops up.
Almost immediately, we hit this glaring contradiction. In verse 20, the text lists a man named Anah as the brother of Zibeon. Okay, simple enough. But then, just 4 verses later, it calls that same Anah the son of Zibeon. So, which one is it? Is this just a sloppy mistake, or is it a clue?
Well, for Rashi, this was no typo. This was the secret. He concluded that both statements had to be true, which could only mean one really shocking thing. Zibeon had a child with his own mother. That makes Anah both his son and, through his grandmother, technically his brother. And just like that, hidden in a simple list of names, we find this incredible story of a forbidden union.
And the story of Anah, believe it or not, gets even stranger. The text adds this really peculiar detail, that while he was out tending his father's donkeys in the wilderness, Anah discovered the Yamayim. What in the world does that even mean? Now, most translations will tell you Yemim means hot springs. You know, a nice little geographical detail, but not very exciting. Rashi, though, he saw something much deeper. He argued the word doesn't mean something Anah found, but something he created. By cross-breeding a donkey with a horse, Anah brought the very first mule, a forbidden hybrid animal, into the world.
You see the theme here, right? It's so powerful. Anah, who was himself the product of a forbidden union, goes on to create a forbidden mixture of species. His own personal history is mirrored in his actions. A whole secret life revealed through just one single cryptic word.
But the secrets don't just stop with family scandals. The next section of the list details the 8 kings who ruled in Edom, and if you can believe it, it seems even more repetitive than the first part. But for Rashi, it contains a hidden political drama.
I mean, the text just follows this monotonous pattern. A king reigns, and then he dies. The next king reigns, and then he dies. It just goes on, seemingly without any real point. But the number of kings, that's the key.
There are 8 kings in total. And Rashi asks, why these 8? Why is the Torah telling us about this specific line of succession in a kingdom next door? He proposes this stunning parallel.
Rashi argues this list isn't random at all. It corresponds perfectly to the 8 Israelite rulers, from King Saul all the way to Jehoshaphat, during whose reigns the kingdom of Edom was actually suppressed and had no king of its own. So this list of Edomite kings, it's really a hidden history of Israel's political dominance over its rival.
And buried deep within this political history is another little breadcrumb. For just one of these kings, Hadad, we get a little more info. He defeated the Midianites in the country of Moab. Now, why would they include this seemingly random military detail?
Rashi explains that this tiny little phrase uncovers a forgotten piece of ancient history. It tells us that Midian and Moab were once enemies, and that Edom actually formed a temporary alliance with Moab to fight them off. And this is so crucial because later in the story, Midian and Moab team up against Israel. This one verse preserves the memory of their earlier conflict.
So at this point you might be asking, okay, these are really clever decodings, but why is this list even in the Bible at all? I mean, why should we care about Edomite genealogies? Well, Rashi provides a fascinating answer. According to Rashi, this entire sprawling genealogy is really here to highlight one specific person, a woman named Timnah. See, she was a princess who desperately wanted to join Abraham's family but was rejected.
So instead, she became a concubine to Esau's son, and from her descended the fearsome Amalekites, who became a persistent enemy of Israel. The whole list serves as this powerful lesson about the spiritual gravity of Abraham's family and the consequences for those who are left out.
We've uncovered scandal and political drama, but Rashi saves his most shocking reveal for the very last name on the list.
And this is where the code points not to the past, but to the future.
After all the kings, all the clans, the genealogy ends with one final chief, Magdiel. It seems like just another name, right? The end of a long, tedious chapter. But for Rashi, it's the final twist in the story.
With just 3 words in English, Rashi drops an absolute bombshell. Magdiel, he says, is Rome. He connects this final descendant of Esau, Israel's ancient rival, to the future empire that would one day destroy the Second Temple and scatter the Jewish people across the globe.
This creates an absolutely incredible historical arc. What starts with Esau, the brother of Jacob, winds its way through generations of clans and kings, and then, according to Rashi's tradition, it culminates in the global superpower of Rome. The family rivalry that we see at the start of Genesis is now projected onto the entire world stage.
And just like that, what we thought was the most boring chapter in Genesis is completely transformed. It's no longer just a list of names. It's a multi-layered story packed with a scandalous birth, the invention of a new species, a hidden history of war and politics, and a mind-blowing prophecy about the rise of the Roman Empire.
So, the next time you encounter a long, dry list in an ancient text, maybe don't skip it. Because as Rashi shows us, sometimes the greatest secrets are hidden in plain sight. And the real question this leaves us with is this: how does seeing a prediction of Rome, hidden away in an ancient family tree, change the entire way we understand the arc of this story?